Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor. And now, live from Oahu, Mike Taylor.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How you boys doing? We're back, bitches. It is MT Live, presented by Texas Cheer Liquor. Subscribe to this thing. Like this thing. Share this thing. Donate money to this thing. The three of the people that do this show have many vices, one of which is cigarette smoking, one of which is eating out every day, and the other one is, I'm not sure what LG's vice is. What's your vice, LG? Mine's eating out too much. Puma's is smoking a shit ton of cigarettes. What's DJ LG's vice? Like, if you had to say, God, I got to cut down on this. I don't think you can smoke too much pot. So what's your vice, Holmes? What do you do too much of that you need to cut down?
Probably coffee. I'd say coffee.
Do you overdrink coffee?
Sometimes, yeah.
Like, how much do you drink a day?
Maybe 2 or 3 cups, and yeah.
That's nothing.
I don't know.
My father used to drink 8 cups a day. Ocho.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was insane. He can't do that. So my dad had to cut down. I drink about 3 cups a day. Depends on the day. That's not too much, dude. I have 1 cup in the morning, right, to get me rolling when I get out of bed. And then I'll have a cup during the radio show. And then if I'm doing this show, I have a habit of getting another cup to get me through. There have been some days I drink 4 freaking cups, which is too much. And it's just because I've got multiple jobs now. And so, see, my excuse is to go to more coffee. You know what happens if you drink too much coffee? Because coffee's a diuretic naturally, but if you drink too much, it has the opposite effect. Are you shitting clumps? You having a hard time shitting? If you're having a hard time taking a shit, then you're drinking too much coffee.
No, my stool is good. Solid. Thanks for asking.
Pull that as a drop.
My stool is good.
Hey, at my age, that's one of the things you most hope for in
BM's
your
a
life.
regular, you know?
Yeah. Nothing like taking a shit. Somebody once asked me, how do you never gain weight? I always say, take 2 shits a day, minimum. If you can, 3. Some guys don't take a dump, but about once a day or once every other day. That's not healthy. We should ask Doc Garrett about this next Wednesday on the radio show.
Yeah,
when we have him on this show again.
This feels like a great question for the good Doc.
He'll answer it, and he's probably going to give you a real answer too, man, because if you've seen those late night infomercials with those crazy ass people that look like a bunch of swingers, bunch of coked up swingers that do those infomercials about selling these products you take to make you stay regular. Have y'all seen those?
Are you kidding me? I think I know what you're talking about, but I've never thought of them as swingers, as more of just people that can't shit right.
No, they look strange. They're not that swingers are strange, but these are like those classic late 70s, early 80s disco swingers that are all dolled up but look kind of tacky and uncouth. They don't dress up well, and like the guy's like a bit disheveled and looks like a pervert. And he's on there trying to extol the virtues of making sure you take a lot of dumps. That's how you stay healthy, getting rid of that poison.
Yeah.
You got to get a good dump in before the orgy. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's just
you can't get
etiquette,
that's orgy 101.
Etiquette.
Yeah,
correct. You can't be out there with a bloated stomach. You will not perform properly. God, no.
You don't drink 8 cups of coffee before you go to the
like Puma
the
said.
afternoon
Puma said
orgy.
on Tuesday, when it's clean.
When it's clean, and that's part of the part of the prep.
But you also don't need a full belly. You don't want to get too much food in you either before you. You may not have to take a dump, but you don't want to get too full feeling before you jump into that body pile.
Eat some sushi. Eat something light. Definitely.
Yeah, salad. Yeah, and then when it's over, and
Sushi
you've
is
worked
my
up.
HEB sushi is my go-to pre-orgy meal. Yeah.
Really? Oh.
No, not really.
No, I don't recommend that.
I thought we were having a little fun here.
We are having a little fun here. A light, crisp salad.
Well,
And then you work up a nice,
eaten,
you
that's
work
for
up,
sure.
and then after you get done, and all those chemicals have worn off, all that. What do you get? Endorphins. What happens when you're banging? Whatever that is.
Correct. Yeah.
Serotonin or
serotonin. Whatever that.
Y'all are just throwing out. Yeah, I think all of that is correct, but you're also just throwing out like, okay, what? Endorphins, serotonin.
Yeah. All of the
Sure.
above.
Cerebellum. Correct.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah. And then when all that wears off, and the high and the euphoria of doing that wears off, then you work up a hunger. Then you go get a nice little meal. Then you go to sleep. That's how you do it. That's what I've read on National Geographic.
I was about to say, this
defying.
Southern Baptist raised monogamous one woman man has no idea what you're talking about, but I'll take Nat Geo's advice and trust them on that.
I told you I called Nat Geo today because there was a mistake. I ordered National Geographic for my kid, and I got the wrong kind.
The publication?
They sent me the publication, the magazine. So the little Mexican twin wanted National Geographic. And so I ordered it here to the house, and they sent me the bill, and it's National Geographic History. So I had to call today and explain to them my kid didn't want National Geographic History. She just wants regular National Geographic so she can read about current events. She wants the major magazine that they released.
The original one that's been going on forever.
Yeah, the original one where a large majority of us saw our first set of boobs in print.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
They don't do that anymore. Very rarely.
Surely they still surely
they don't exploit African women.
The tribes of landlocked Africa.
They do, but they don't show their mams like they used to.
That's unfortunate. What have we become that soft as a society?
Well, aren't they owned by the Walt Disney Company now? Does it make
that I don't know.
National Geographic these days?
That I don't know. Now
sure they do.
I've subscribed to National Geographic off and on over the years. I'll let it go, and just because of laziness, I do enjoy reading it very much. I don't know who owns it. Maybe it's Disney, but I can tell you that the content's just as fucking great as ever.
Yeah,
Content's still great.
My dad has all of them. I mean, he's been since like, I think his collection starts late 70s, I want to say.
Why? Why do people collect magazines?
I don't know. There's something kind of cool about it. I mean,
just stacked. Does he? I can see it like if you're putting them in covers and you got a wall as art.
My pops was the same way, but he didn't have
so it's just not it's not a stack of magazines on a shelf gathering dust.
It's an entire 3 rows of the bookshelf in the study that are all. That's
my dad's collection's like that too. It's like 3 rows of National Geographic.
Seriously, like
but they're not in good shape.
I went all the way back from the first edition he had, just flipping through them until I found a set of cans from some woman that had half a dozen rings on her neck, extending her neck. Yeah, that was a seminal moment in my childhood. But yeah, his go back. He got honestly like I mean, I don't think he was 10. I think it was. I think it was a high school graduation present for him. So that would have been like 82.
Right.
No, 84. So his collection started in 84. And he's got every episode or every edition ever since. Never stopped subscribing.
As you know, I'm a staunch magazine reader. Staunch. A defender of magazine reading. I subscribe to a shit ton of magazines, and now my collection. Now I'm going to get back up on. By the way, thank you, G-Town 488. It's dopamine. That's what gets released when you're fucking. Serotonin is the love drug. That's when you fall in love with your sexual partner. When you have more than just
is what gets released when you're fucking. But yeah, sure, dopamine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, serotonin is the after party chemical that makes you want to be with that person and mate and stay with them. and be
Okay.
monogamous.
Oh,
The
so that's
the dopamine is
that's
just
the
fucking.
chemical we have to blame. Okay, like now, like I'm a
Right.
dopamine guy.
Yeah, me too. Why can't I just stop at
Why can't it
dopamine?
just stop?
This
Like,
serotonin fucks it up.
fuck
Dopamine's
needs
having a good
dopamine?
time. Dopamine's just traveling down the highway, going 85 miles an hour, kicking ass, and serotonin shows up, just takes the wheel and turns out so
Serotonin's
much in the
here.
bed.
Like, hey, next time can you not leave your razor on the countertop? Or next time can you make sure your stuff is on your side? Like next time, yeah, that's serotonin ruins all the fun.
Now that I don't know what you're talking about.
Huh?
Huh?
Really?
I love living with a woman. It's fun.
Nah. I think I'd have a lot more fun living with a couple dudes, to be honest, but it's fine.
I would not. I don't
I
think
would
like
absolutely love to just wake up and be like, what do you want to do today? I don't know. Let's just get high and play some MLB The Show. Okay, great. Let's do
find
that
a
for
chick
the next
that's-
6
you
hours.
got to find a chick that's down with that. Therein lies the great conundrum.
Oh, no, my chick is down with me doing that, just not
Right.
participating in said activities.
That's fine, but you get bitched out about what'd you say, my razor or left my toothbrush out or whatever, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
So a big battle of ours. I mean, I'm, 6'4", big old hands. Like counter space is valuable to me. So something I have pounded in my roommate's head, so to speak, is I need her to keep hair straighteners, blow dryers. I need the countertop free because those appliances are not cheap. Something I learned after breaking multiple of said appliances.
I've tried like hell to break stuff in your bathroom myself.
You have, and somehow you've avoided it, but I literally sneeze in there and shit just gets broken left and right. No.
In my defense, there's shit everywhere in there. Your woman has a lot of shit in her bathroom.
My whole point. And
y'all's bathroom's also small. It's real
Correct.
tiny. Yeah.
And I move a lot, and I'm big, and I need to have the space. Like, I can't wash my, no. Here,
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to tall guy shame. Yao Ming need room. Whoa.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No. You're killing it. Keep going.
I'm painting a picture for the viewer.
It's like I'm looking in a mirror. I just hear I hear nothing but myself being repeated. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom! I got a subscription with that. Worked out great. Thank you, Edward.
Why don't you tell me what would Yao Ming sound like doing a "Come On Now Spurs"?
Come on now, Spurs.
Okay, all right. So as I was saying, countertop is extremely valuable to me, and I will jump her ass anytime something is left on it. But
so to
then,
speak.
the one time I leave a tiny razor, it's the fucking end of the world. It's a massive issue.
Wow.
Stop down. We need to discuss this instantly.
Wow. So I don't think I would like living with dudes. Maybe one dude. Like I could live with Lawrence, but it wouldn't.
Have you ever lived with
6
dudes?
months tops? No, God no.
Right.
I don't think
okay.
I like it.
See, well, I guess no, we've probably passed the threshold now. Steph and I have lived together 11 years.
Yeah.
And I'm 36. So I was 25. Yeah, we've passed the threshold. I lived with nothing but dudes for, 18 to 25, 7 years. And now I've been living with one woman for 11 years. And I'm here to tell you, there's advantages to both, but significant advantages to the 7 years I spent with nothing but my buddies.
I think I'd either rather live alone or with a woman, not with guys. I think I'd get grossed out. I think I'm kind of chick-like when it comes to my living sitch.
No way.
I know.
No wonder you always talk about how, Steph, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine living with him. I can't imagine what you go through every day. Because
I could live with your wife.
You relate more to her than you do me.
Sure.
Yeah.
No question. I would much rather live with her than you.
Yes. And
we'd get along great.
Take away all the sex. I mean, we both have sex, but there's no like
no
all
sex.
of the rest of it. The rest of it is
you come over and have sex with her. Almost said fuck her. It was going to be abrasive.
So it was so much better. Oh, please. Next time, just say make love to her. That's way less abrasive.
You come over and fuck her, and I'll do all the rest. Then she'll have a perfect life. right? I'm like the
Hey.
perfect male roommate, and you just, I don't cheat and all that kind of thing, right?
Sure. No,
Is that
that
what you're
sounds like
saying?
sounds like a fine arrangement. I'll stay out here with LG and play video games and just come down, take care of business, and then come back and hang out with LG.
Yeah. And then her bathroom stays nice and neat.
Oh, you and her would have the y'all would be in utter agreement on bathroom etiquette. No question. No question.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, that's it.
Are we live? Are we doing the show?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We've been on 20 fucking minutes already. Subscribe, like, and share, and donate
we
to
were
us.
just
If you want to
bullshitting
do this
here.
thing and subscribe to our wonderment, go right ahead. You can always jump into our chats. We've got our super chat. We got our generic chat. You can buy us a cup of coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Mike Taylor Live. Donate to this thing. Love you hard. Rebel T13. I jacked off to Playboys reading about the centerfolds' likes and dislikes. The first pair of boobs I ever saw.
You jacked off reading about the likes and not the centerfold presentations? Like, you truly read it for the articles? Like, oh,
I read it.
She likes long walks on the beach, and here's her snatch.
Not like that.
And these
No,
are
it was
the ones,
no. You know what was
that's
badass?
you choose to jerk off to.
The Penthouse was great reading material. It was very cool.
Well, the letters to Penthouse at the end are the only thing worth reading in Penthouse. Like, I could never imagine I'd find myself in this situation.
No, Penthouse is like, and all three guys penetrated all of my holes. It's like
and
that.
again, that's letters to Penthouse, where I never thought I would find myself in this situation where I'm sitting in the boys' varsity locker room and they're just waiting to take their turns on me. Not that that's ever happened. Full disclosure.
I'm going to do a live spot to get us out of what we're into right now. That's what I'm going to do for Texas Cheer Liquor, the title sponsor of Mike Taylor Live. Thank you so hard to Texas Cheer Liquor. Thank you to Mr. Singh, the man about the world. I'm not sure if he's by the channel tonight. I think he was, last time I talked to him, he had to jump on a private jet and fly to, where were you going? I want to say Geneva.
He's probably headed to Davos.
Something weird like that. Some place that LG's probably been. But meanwhile, I told him I would hold the fort down while he's in Geneva or Davos or Abu Dhabi or whatever he did. We'll hold the fort down and continue to support the cause. Texas Cheer Liquor had 5 locations earlier this year. Then Mr. Singh made the brilliant decision to get into bed with Mike Taylor Live and make himself the title sponsor. He's opened 4 new stores since then. I'll be damned. He's damn near doubled his stores in the short time allotted that he has been the title sponsor. What's up? Just saying. Just throwing that out. We do have some pretty cool viewers and listeners that do pretty cool things. Like here, I just got a text message from a viewer and this guy is also a guy about the world. He's the official airline provider of Mike Taylor Live. Let's just call him MK. You boys know who MK is, the official airline provider.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
He is donating a bunch of autographed memorabilia to help us pimp out tickets or plates, rather, for the barbecue on June 11. And I'm going to bring that to the scene next week. So get ready for that. He just texted, I'm leaving for Japan on Monday. I'll be back the week after. Do you want those jerseys now or wait till I get back? Damn. I'm going to reply to him here in a little bit. How about that? Got to go to Japan. Not, hey, I'm going fishing in Corpus, or I got to go see my papa up in Dieball. I'll be in Japan starting Monday.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
I'd like to be going to Japan.
That's LG's favorite nation outside of America and Indonesia, I think, right? One of them.
It's up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times
and we
Tokyo.
got our ass handed to us by Jermichael Finley and Dieball one year.
Mm.
Is that where he went to school? Dieball? Or y'all one of those meet in the middle playoff games?
No, we played Dieball in the regional final.
Finley was at Dieball.
Pretty sure that's who it was.
Sweating. That fucking coffee. I've had too many cups.
It wasn't the same. So the couple years before that, we lost to Chris Ogden, the UT assistant now, former head coach of UTA from Seminole. I'm pretty sure it was Diebold had someone amazing. I'm pretty sure it was Jermichael Finley.
Yeah. Cameron's in here. Up until my grandpa passed, there was a stack of Playboys. Every month's issue for the last few years next to his recliner. He had every other issue since he started his sub from the mid-'70s in boxes. Man, I buy a lot of fucking magazines. I chunk them as soon as I'm done with them. I've never even thought to save them.
Have you ever
Seems like it just takes up room and it just takes up room and creates a fire hazard in your house.
I mean, I'm sure you probably did, but have you ever seen like what an old Playboy looks like?
I have. I got a story on that.
Oh, okay.
1999.
Perfect.
Well, I was going to say I got two quick old school Playboy stories. You mentioned seeing the titties.
Jermichael Finley did go to Diebold. That's who dominated us in the post.
You'll be able to sleep now that you've determined that and been able to substantiate that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been abused by Jermichael Finley and LaMarcus Aldridge. It's fond memories. Yeah.
So you mentioned seeing the first pair of titties you ever saw in a National Geographic magazine with the lady with her neck extended.
I believe I referred to them as cans, but yeah, titties works too.
Okay. The first pair I ever saw were also of the Nubian variety in a magazine.
In a magazine, okay.
It was Playboy. I want to say it was 81, 80, something like that.
It was a good year, yeah.
I'm 6'7". Oh, I love, by the way, I do love that time period. Fucking love it.
It was a good era.
78 to about 84, my favorite time ever. If I could just go into a time warp and stay
70 what to 84?
78 to 84, yeah.
Yeah,
love
the
that time.
end of the death of the hippie idealism and the gritty realness of the 80s setting in. Yeah, I mean, the birth of serial killers and social unrest of the,
yeah. Toxic masculinity at its apex.
It was a good era. Yeah.
Good times. The music was
before
great.
the yuppies took over Wall Street and are
Yacht
still
rock, baby.
cashing checks from their theft of the early 80s. Yeah.
80-81, Donna Summer, the noted disco star.
I'm Chris Duell, and I love Donna Summer.
Did a spread, an expose, if you will, in Playboy magazine, and my stepdad Ernest had it laying beside his bed. I'm 6-7 years old. I'm dying to see a pair of boobs. Ernest just left it out. They didn't give a shit. And I went and flipped through it, and I went right to the Donna Summer spreadsheet, and there it was. So we have that in common. There they were, she and both of them together. LG, what's the first pair you ever saw in a magazine?
In print, yeah.
Yeah, probably Nat Geo. Yeah, for sure. It was definitely Nat Geo.
I feel like that, the first time, that was in second grade.
That's why we all love Nat Geo, and all little boys love National Geographic, and it ain't because not because we want to be explorers.
They used to have the hologram ones. They're like 3D, hologram, like Nat Geo's special edition.
Right. No, I remember finding the edition that had the boobs and bringing it to elementary school in second grade and showing all my buddies, like folding the 3-page fold out of, all right, dude, y'all got to see this shit.
It's all wrinkled up and folded 10 times.
Correct.
It's stuck in your front pocket. It's all faded now.
Correct. Yeah. Lasting impact.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, here's the next question. See how much y'all are willing to go, how far y'all are willing to go now.
Uh-oh.
First pair of titties in the same room. Not your mother's.
What do you mean? Like in person? First pair of titties in person?
Yeah. Not your mama's. Breastfeeding as a baby don't count.
Sixth
First
grade?
pair of tits. Do you remember? How old were you when was it?
When I nuzzled on some chick's titties during choir practice. When both
Sixth
of our
grade?
parents. Yeah, when both of our parents were...
Shirt up, bare boob, face, cheek on tit?
Mouth to tit, yeah.
Oh, nice. 6th grade. That a boy.
Started early. Dude, I lost
How old was the girl?
I lost my virginity in 7th grade. Like, it's not like...
How old was the girl?
6th grade?
The 11-year-old suck on her. What did she have, like little training boobies?
She developed earlier than others. Yeah.
Oh, so she was ready to have somebody handle. That's what happened. Yeah, she developed early, so she needed
something in that
needed
nuclear power plant water in Somerville County led to a lot
Where
of
were
girls
you?
developing early.
And where were you?
It was both of our parents were members of the First Baptist Church choir, and they were doing choir practice, and we were left to entertain ourselves. And how do you think we entertained ourselves?
Were you like in another room of the church?
Fuck no. We were just out, like literally outside, like out
Of the church, on the property?
Were on the basketball court. We were on the basketball court to entertain ourselves. And then immediately, as soon as they all went inside for practice, we found a nice little cubby that couldn't be viewed from any of the exterior doors or windows, and passed the
So
next
how'd it work
hour.
out? Did she just like, hey, you want to suck my titties? Or did it start
it
out making
was-
out, or what?
It was
What are
a
we
girl.
doing here?
I mean, we were already like dating.
Goofball making out with sixth
we
graders.
were walking to Dairy Queen for blizzards together, like we were already dating. So it was more of a natural progression of this making out is fun, but what else can we do? Why don't you try to do what you're doing right now to my titties, and I'll try to do what I'm doing right now to your dong, and we'll figure this out as we go. Yeah.
Second base. Thus second base. Yeah, very good. How about you, LG?
I went to second. She went to third.
Well, of course, typical. The girl always has to do more.
Typical.
Yeah, how typical.
Hey, look, that's not going to be enough. Like, I need some. If I'm using my mouth, you're using yours.
I don't want you sucking on my titties. So,
no.
Southbound. LG, first pair of boobs you ever saw that didn't belong to, your mother.
Probably same thing. 7th grade. Yeah, right around 7th grade. Girlfriend.
Junior high kids, man.
Yeah.
I got in-school suspension one time for getting a hand job off stage during one-act play in 7th grade. I
thought this was a free country. What the hell?
That's what I thought. Like, and you know who didn't get in trouble? The girl that jerked me off.
The girl, the girl never gets in trouble.
She got nothing. Me and the buddy that were getting Hummers. Yeah, we got 3 days of in-school suspension. Yeah.
Oh, your buddy was there too. That's poor girl.
Well, we were both off stage, and they were stagehands, and we needed some fluffing. Yeah, it was very toxic masculinity run amok in Glen Rose Junior High.
Or was it female sexuality at its peak?
Well, considering we're the ones that got penalized, it was toxic masculinity as it was framed. It was we were the predators, the perpetrators.
First pair I ever saw, I'm drawing a blank. I know it was.
When you've seen as many pairs as you've had, I guess you forget the first ones. Okay, Mr. Modest.
I'm thinking.
Brag.
I'm not bragging. I'm thinking here. I'm trying to. I just want to be. I want to be accurate, as Jerry would say. I want to be accurate. All right. Let's see.
How do you not know the first non-related pair of boobs you saw? Like that's such a landmark moment in childhood.
Well, because mine was fucked up and dysfunctional. Now that I think, the first pair I ever saw was my buddy's mother getting dressed. Does that count?
Okay. Well,
it's in the same room.
If we're counting, no, we're not counting that. We're counting.
Yeah, I don't think that really
something
counts.
With the because I saw
in a sexual manner.
I saw Buddy's cans before, or Buddy's mom's cans before.
Okay,
it was
definitely yes.
Okay, fine.
I had
a friend whose mom had some serious investment on her upper half, and she was more than happy to just walk around the house showing the work that her high-paid surgeon had done.
I had a buddy in high school whose mom did strip teases for us. He would get so pissed and go hide in the bathroom.
Of course.
The mom I'm referencing, we eventually got a hold of their sex tape, and it definitely spread amongst the Glen Rose High School student body. Yeah, they were wild.
All right, 7th grade. What was this girl's name?
Well, we don't need names. It's probably
I
better
shouldn't do that.
if you don't
Yeah,
remember
probably
the
better.
name. Yeah.
Probably better.
Considering what you hit me with earlier today, yeah, let's not.
What
bring
was that?
Names. The girl that died of AIDS.
I didn't give you her name.
Jesus
Christ.
You didn't give. You gave enough. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where your story
I
is
had
going
a one-nighter
to end.
with her.
Because if the story ends with someone dying of AIDS, we don't need to hear the name at the beginning of said story.
I didn't give it to you.
You did well. But that's what I'm saying.
This one, the one I'm about to tell you about, didn't die of AIDS. I don't know what happened to her. She could be dead. I don't know.
We still
7th
probably
grade.
don't need names.
She was in 9th grade. I was in 7th. And no bullshit, she had a boyfriend who was like a junior in high school and was worried that she wouldn't be like good enough for the guy. She was inexperienced.
7th grade?
And practiced.
7th grade junior in high school boyfriend?
No, I was in 7th. She was in 9th, but she had a junior for a boyfriend who was like 16.
Okay, Glenrose like seniors in high school.
And I'm like 13, 12. Yeah, that's of course, y'all are perverts. No, listen. No, I'm in 7th. She's in 9th. She's dating a boyfriend, though, who's in 11th. And she practiced for him with me. I was her sparring partner.
Yeah, lucky
it was
you.
Great. We lived next door to her. It was great. Yeah. And she knew I would be discreet about it. God, she fucked me up. Maybe that's what happened to me, was her doing that. Very dysfunctional.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's all, let's victim blame her and not.
Yeah, how dare you? I'm a victim.
How dare
I
you
am a
for
victim.
corrupting me. Yeah, I was only in 7th grade, damn it.
Wow, I forgot all about that. That's why I was thinking.
I just self-censored myself in real time.
You did, man.
Yeah,
God
I had
almighty,
to.
you did.
I had to stop that one real fast.
All right. How many of y'all been to Fort Worth, Texas lately? Did anybody go up for Paul McCartney at Dickies Arena?
I had a
2
buddy
nights
who
ago.
was there. Said it
Badass.
was a good show. Yeah.
What was the average ticket? About $500?
It was not cheap.
No.
Not cheap.
Well, it will not be nearly as expensive this coming weekend because Dickies will be hosting the PBR World Title. How about that? You know, I'm into bull riding now. Absolutely into bull riding. The 2022 professional bull riders season is coming to an end in Fort Worth, Texas. I can't think of a better town to end your season with bull riding competition than said Fort Worth, Texas. And the Austin Gamblers will be up there repping, getting ready for their new season. The official bull riding team of Mike Taylor Live, the Austin Gamblers, will be up there doing stuff, having a street party in Mule Alley in the Fort Worth Stockyards. I've not been there in a long time. My favorite, the best rainbow trout in Texas is at the H2 Ranch in Fort Worth, Texas, in Cowtown. Right across the street from the White Elephant Saloon. You boys ever been to the White Elephant Saloon?
Oh, you know I have.
I figured you have.
Cowboy
LG, you've been to Fort Worth
cowboy
once?
Caps, baby.
I've been there
Get
once.
Lawrence's ass
I
to
saw
Cowtown.
when they bring out all the cattle early in the morning.
Yeah, I've got a
the
good idea
actual
for
fake cattle.
I've got a good idea for content for this website, loveyouhearttv.com.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm home this June and part of the July Taylor homecoming. I go show you my high school. We get out and roll on my old stomping grounds.
You know what's on the way to
the neighborhood where I
Taylor's
grew up.
hometown.
Yeah, we could do a
Glen Rose.
origin story
Glen
on
Rose.
on Pooms and the Taylor.
We could hit them both on the way.
Let's do that. Y'all want to do that? For real?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do think it's funny
Let's
you
do a
say
weekend.
that because we're talking about a trip north. I think at some point this summer we need to take a trip south as well. Head to Corpus area or go somewhere down on the coast.
Yeah.
Oh, well, dude, I've lived on an island for almost 3 years now. I am going to really miss my ocean. Now, granted, it's a hell of a lot different ocean. It ain't the same ocean.
Yeah.
Don't use this as
It's
chance.
water.
Don't
There's
use
some
this
water
as a
there.
chance
That's
to
about
attack the third coast. You were rolling. Just keep going. You're making a
Okay,
good
well,
point.
I'm an ocean man. And
That's an ocean.
even before I moved to Hawaii, I would have told you that at some point I'm going to retire on the Texas Gulf Coast somewhere along the Corpus, Port Aransas, Rockport. And if you want to trek northbound, maybe up to like Port Lavaca area, I will be an old man living there, you know?
Come
and I don't
visit
know.
me
I'm
on
not
the
sure.
Brazos.
No, I'm an ocean guy.
I'm a river man.
So anyway, the answer is yes. Let's go to the ocean too, for sure. Let's do that. Let's do 2 trips. We'll go up to Fort Worth. We'll pass through Glen Rose. I'll show you all the barrio where I grew up, which is so changed.
You know, we could even do a Tuesday show live in Glen Rose and a Thursday show live in Fort Worth.
Well, now you're asking me to go during the week, and I got a radio show, and you're asking him to carry gear.
Look, minor details.
Let's do a weekend road trip. We can be spontaneous and just get out and roll video on stuff. Anyhow, they're having the draft up there they're having the draft pretty soon for the gamblers, but they're all going to have a real big presence in the stockyards this weekend. So if you find yourself in Fort Worth, and because it'll be all rodeoed out this week, it'll be all bull rided out this week. Make sure that you, if you're going, see if you can't find my boys at the Austin Gamblers. They're going to have a bunch of different things they're doing up there. Here's how to follow the gamblers. I want y'all to start following the gamblers because we're really going to start getting into bull riding. Thank you, G-Town. Once the season starts, because the gamblers are not involved in what's going on this weekend. They're just there to make some presents. But then as soon as the new season starts, they're going to be all about this new format that the PBR is doing, which they now have teams. There's just less than 10 teams. And the way they do the season is they're going to have these big meets every week or every other week in each individual city. And so Austin will actually host one of the events at some point.
It'll be the first sporting event held in the Moody Center.
That's right, in the Mood. So if you can't make it in person to Fort Worth, which I know is way up there, you can look at this at Ride Pass on Pluto TV or get live updates at any of the Gamblers social channels. And Facebook, they're on there at Austin Gamblers. On Instagram, they're at Austin_Gamblers, and their Twitter is also Austin_Gamblers. And Austin has the #1 pick in the draft later this year. So we're going to start getting heavily into professional bull riding. All right, LG, we need to start getting in. I need to come up with this is a production meeting, I guess, on the air. We have so much shit coming up. Mm-hmm. If I send you dates and times to everything, can you make like a cool graphic? Because we got to start posting. We almost need we have like a tour schedule now. It's so crazy with the shit we have coming.
Yeah, we need to do something. That's for sure.
I know. I've got Rich O'Toole. Yeah, I've got what? We're at Sam's Burger Joint in San Antonio, June the 8th. We've got the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club barbecue on June the 11th. We've got the Thunderdome Night with the Missions on June the 16th. And I think I can announce this publicly now.
Oh,
get your celebration drops ready. On Thursday, I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, but that's why I feel like we need to get a list going here. On Thursday, July 7th, this show, Mike Taylor Live, will be done live at 8:15 p.m. at McFinnigan's in San Antonio, Texas. Y'all both been to McFinnigan's, right? Right through on Blanco, just north of 410.
Yes.
We were actually just talking about that earlier when we were hanging out this afternoon. It'll be nice to hit. I feel like we're hitting all different parts of town too.
Shh. We're working on another section of town, but it's not
I just
confirmed.
mean from the hangar, and now we're on the other side. We're more on the west side of 410 there.
Yeah, we're spreading it out. Yeah, like that chick that made out with y'all in the theater class in junior high. We're spreading it out all over the place. We're just going to go and spread ourselves everywhere. That's right. So we're coming to the, what would you call that? The inner north side, just north of 410, McFinnigan's. That's July 7th. So thank you to the boys over at McFinnigan's for reaching out, and we are going to do our show there on July 7th. So we have a lot of shit coming up. So that's why I'm saying we need like a graphic. We have like a schedule, a cool, fancy schedule. Can we do that? It'd be cool. It'd be badass.
Figure something out.
We'll figure it out.
I know a roommate that's pretty good at putting together social media graphics. So maybe we can.
I never ask. I just throw stuff out hoping you'll offer.
Correct.
Or she'll offer.
Yeah.
Kind of like with my dog, you know?
Correct. Yeah. And you throw it out there, and what does she does? She offers. So.
Yeah.
We'll add this to her workload.
Well, she and I are buddies.
More so, y'all are more ideal roommates than her and I even, believe it or not.
I don't think there's any question about that.
There's no question about that. The only takeaway from that is nothing about you two. It's more about I'm a pain in the ass to live with. Like that's the takeaway from that.
And I get along with women really well too. So it's just kind of a, I don't know, what is it, a paradox? I don't know, what do you call that? I get along with women great.
Let's go with paradox. Yeah.
See this? I'm not going to read it to you. It's long. Just a bunch of words on my screen. You know what? Take a guess on what that might be. I'm not going to read it to you. It's just a long quote.
Your manifesto before you jump off that balcony? What are we looking at?
No, it's a long paragraph your wife sent me about
God.
getting through hard times. About that. Do you get those? Because I damn sure do from her.
No, you know what I get? You know what I get? I
Pick
need
up
you
the
to
fucking
get your
laundry
shit together because this whole thing could end tonight. Like, that's what I get. I get, you figure out what the fuck you're doing in life and tell me because this could be the last chapter. Yeah. But I'm glad you get supportive messages. That makes me feel really good.
This is from Brianna West that your wife sent me. One day, it's actually, she sent me this in early November, right?
That's a great band, the Early November. Sorry, keep going.
Okay, in early November, your wife sent me following quote. One day you will look back on this time and all you will see is magic. You won't remember how stuck you felt or how far behind you thought you were or what you wished you had done differently. All you will see is that within your uncertainty was also your potential. And within your lostness was also an opportunity to be found. And within your discomfort was also a chance to see what you needed to change. And changing it was you becoming the person you were always meant to be. If there's one single thought that can comfort you in your darkest, quietest nights, please let it be this. One day you will look back on this time and all you will see is magic. About that.
Oh,
I've held on to that ever since.
That sounds uplifting and reassuring, and
awesome.
You know, like it sounds like something that would help you get through the bullshit minutia of the day-to-day life. Yeah,
I loved her. I love her for that.
Yourself in.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's great.
I get texts that say, "Will you pick up wine on the way home?" Or
Well, she doesn't need to motivate you. You're comfortable. You weren't going through a horrible time in those days. Look at me now, though. Look. We have a new show. We're doing locations.
Demons deeper than anybody realizes.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. She sent it to me, and I kept it all this time. It meant a lot to me.
Sorry, she's really nice to me. My apologies.
And that's not the. By the way, that's not the only quote your wife has sent me. Not even. She's like.
You think I assumed that was the case? I figured it was a daily affirmation.
I'm not telling you. I'm not trying to freak you out. I appreciate it. It's really sweet, and I like her a lot. And as with each passing month, I think she becomes more like a little sister. It's great.
I love that y'all are becoming sibling level relationship because it can allow me to focus on Adolis Garcia, who just hit a double to try to get this Rangers-Astro game tied at 2 here in the 6th inning.
I can see it now when I'm living home this summer. Hey, Taylor, Steph wants to go to the mall. I know you're. I know. Will you go in my stead? I'm going to be like proxy husband, going around with her to shop while you get to watch ball.
I mean, not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
It might prolong all of our friendships.
I know, right? Thank you, Navarro. I appreciate the super.
It might prolong y'all's friendship and my marriage. So
right. And as long as she and I stay cool, that'll help. It'll help the little triumphant or whatever you call us now.
At this point, it's better if y'all stay cool than if her and I stay cool. It's miles better if y'all have a good relationship than us. Yeah.
Well, good. I know. I
keep
appreciate
doing bullshit, jackass shit like this. Like it's 100% how.
Well,
that works.
in that quote, I've kept that quote all this time because, and look at me now. 7 months later, 6-7 months later, we've got this show. We're selling it. We're doing well. We have a title sponsor. We're taking our show on location. I've got an amazing new girlfriend. I mean, the radio show's doing as good as it's ever done.
Hard to argue against results.
I'm saying, and I've kept that quote all this time. And you know what I'll do is I'll pay that forward one day when I've got a buddy that could use something like that when he's going through a hard time. and your wife, it'll be the gift that keeps on
chuggy.
giving.
That's so fucking chuggy. But yeah, please pass it forward to your buddy that needs positive affirmation. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy he believes in me. He's sending me reinforcement to get me through this.
Sure, absolutely. I'm I'm chickish. I admit that. That's why I get along great with women. Also, but
That's
I
why
will say,
I get along great.
we do get along great. Back to your bathroom. It is, in your defense, it is really small. I mean, I'm 5'9" and I knock shit over in there. Yeah. It's just small. It's not that she has so much stuff. It's just a tiny bath. You have this big, beautiful house, but your main bathroom's tiny.
And I think, I chalk that up, like the size of the average human in 1910 when that house was built probably had no issues with the size of that bathroom. They were used to shitting in outhouses. You know what I'm saying? Like right. It feels like that.
Oh yeah, those like when they built it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that house was ordered it was ordered out of a Sears catalog, and the lumber inside the house still has the brand markings of the Perrin-Beidel Lumber Company or
correct.
Just the Beidel Lumber Company.
That is really badass, by the way. I want to see that. That's cool. And the lady of the house, I guarantee you, in 1910 didn't have a bunch of Clinique products in there and blow dryers.
God, no.
Probably had nothing. She had a brush, and that's probably it.
If that.
Yeah, if that. Now,
they had bull semen that they used as hairstyling.
Yeah, no shit. By the way, your wife has great products, though. I've used some of them in the shower. Excellent shampoo. Excellent face soap.
That's where a bulk of our monthly income goes. So I'm glad you noticed.
She gets the good shit too, man.
She does. Well,
Clinique and Bumble and Bumble.
For the record,
yeah,
like the shampoo and conditioner that I use, that tea tree bullshit, that's like $50 a bottle, and I had no idea. But as soon as she introduced me to it, and then told me, I was like, as soon as she showed it to me, and then told me how much it cost. It was like, no, we're never getting that shit again. I did that for 1 month and then told her, yeah, let's order that good shit again.
It is good. Yeah, it's good shit.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm with you there, at least for the hair products.
All right, you boys subscribe to this hair product talk and like it and share it. We have no plan, by the way. We planned to get into other shit tonight. Didn't get to it, did we?
Well, hell, what time? How long have we been? Are we on air?
We're on near an hour. 45 minutes already.
Yeah, 48 minutes so far.
Rolling here.
Yeah. I thought we were just shooting
all the live spots. I mean, I'm just, I mean, and by the way, when you see her, and the reason I had that quote so handy, and it's funny that this came up tonight, is because I shared that quote with my girlfriend. And I said, Steph sent this to me in November, and check it out. And she's like, wow, that's really cool. I mean, look at you now. Look at us now. I mean, so it's great, and it's only getting better and better. Hell,
a good quote.
Anyway, yeah. Now we have a show, and I got live spots and everything. It's great, like JM Pool and Spa, a Poodle San Antonio family-owned business. JM Pool and Spa. These boys do pools. They do monthly pool service. They repair them. Nothing more fun than having a pool. Nothing more ass whip than having your pool fuck up on you. You don't want that. That's why JM Pool and Spa is a place to keep in your head for the future. They have their residential appliance installer licensed to repair electrical pool equipment too. I mean, they're big time repair people. They've been doing this over 25 years, and they're also part of the San Antonio Independent Pool Spa Service Association chapter. And they're a nonprofit organization over there at that thing. And they're a bunch of pool owners, pool spa owners that get together and, give to charities and promote pool safety. I mean, it's May the 19th as we record this show. And here before you know it, it'll be, hell, it's already freaking summer. We didn't have a spring. Pool season's nigh upon us. So make sure you stay safe. Enjoy your time. But if you ever need some help with your pool, JM Pool and Spa is who you should go to. All right. We were going to get into one particular topic. Was it UFOs you wanted to get into? I was going to talk China, but I think I'll save China for later. You and I almost had a fight at the end of the show today. I'm glad I brought it up so late in the show. I think it would have would have turned into a 20-minute discussion.
Let's use it.
I'll save
here.
it.
No, let's use it.
No, you don't want to do UFO talk? UFO talk?
Well, I mean, I think there's I
We
would
could move
rather,
UFO talk to Tuesday.
I think we should move UFO talk because
Okay.
I
I'm fine with that.
I might or might not be able to get a buddy on next week that has also
Seen one?
some of the UFO activity
Oh,
of North
shit.
Texas. Yeah.
Okay, we'll preserve it for Tuesday. And by the way, LG, have you seen what you thought was maybe a UFO before in your life? I have, in North Texas.
Correct.
No, not that I.
And
No.
for the record, I chalk a lot of that up to the experimental aircraft that might or might not be maneuvering the North Texas skies.
Tuesday.
But let's push it.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
There's a lot of weird shit that goes on in the plains of North Texas. A lot of
Very
weird
much
shit
so.
in the sky at night. Yeah. We'll talk about it next Tuesday. Okay. So I brought this up late in the show today. Full disclosure, I totally forgot about our voicemail segment that we do, and we had none. And so I just panicked, jumped into another topic to end the show today, the radio show. And it was this big report that ESPN dropped today. You need to go read it, dude. It's just right up your alley, your investigative NBA reporting alley.
As soon as I realized you were referencing a Mickey story, I went and I've read it since then, and none of it surprises me. I mean, it's exactly it's the flaws of capitalism on public display, 100%.
Right. By the way, before we get into this, I'm being told that they have karaoke at McFinnigan's. I'm going to talk to the dude that owns it and make sure he's got that ready to roll that night when we get off the air. Fuck yeah.
There are few things in my life that I hate more than karaoke.
I know, because you guys are typical dudes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sing my ass off.
Yes. No, LG has a good, like the Eastern world's interpretation of karaoke where it's a individual room and you're all in with your, like, it's way better.
It's much better.
Way better.
I've done that before in Austin.
The Big Bang
got those
room,
up on
Austin Highway. Like you can get.
I didn't go to the Boom Boom room. I went to a place on Burnett Road though.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a place on Burnett Road.
I've seen Taylor in karaoke mode before at that little dive bar in Austin that's like underneath the parking garage. I forget the name of it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I can't think of the name.
I'll karaoke my ass off.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've
I haven't.
seen you.
It's been a while. I haven't done it since. I did it here.
I do not do public karaoke whatsoever.
Y'all want to put content on this website or not?
In terms of karaoke content, no. I'm good.
That's fine.
good.
I'll do it.
Well, the problem with that is the music. So,
Oh yeah, you know what? Fuck, we can't. We don't have the rights, so we can't.
Not
run
on
it.
the show.
What a shame. What a shame.
Wait, you can't play video of me doing karaoke?
Oh, not if you're singing a popular
depends on the
song.
song they're playing.
No, it doesn't depend. LG, it's a solid no. We can't.
I can't. Like if I wanted to sing a song right now a cappella,
You could.
That's bullshit.
You can do that.
yeah,
You can do
The
that.
floor is yours, a cappella.
if I'm singing to a karaoke instrumental in a bar, YouTube's not going to get pissed
the
off.
instrumentals are copyrighted, and if YouTube picks up the algorithm, they'll strike it. I mean, it'll still stay up there. We won't get
Fuck
any
them. We're doing it.
of the extras.
Fuck
We
the
need content.
algorithms.
Fuck yeah. I hate that word. I hate everything about that word.
Don't
That
you?
word's just so big, brother.
There are so many words that I knew as a child that now mean something completely different, and algorithm is one of them. Like algorithm as a child, I was obsessed with, and it was the concept of like, oh my God, this could be life-changing. This could be society-defining. And now an algorithm is literally the reason that my uncle thinks the fucking some pedophile in DC at a pizza shop is actually the president of the United States. Like it's like algorithms are such a different realization now versus when I was a kid.
I'm a words man. I'm a talk show host. So we should do a segment on that one night.
That's a good segment.
All of these words in the English language that have been bastardized or made into evil or used to be evil now that are good. And when you hear them, you have an entirely different emotional reaction to them from before. It's a good segment. We should do one of these nights. I need to think
There's
that
a lot
up.
of those words, yeah.
El Diablo Barbudo. I saw a UFO in Helotes 10 years ago. Real deal. A light that shrunk and grew in size, stopped moving and fired off in a blur. High enough to be outside the atmosphere and too fast for human capability. I believe him. Well, Tuesday. Okay, so
Tuesday.
ESPN dropped this long expose today they went and dug up money that NBA owners have, National Basketball Association owners have in China.
Yeah, not
The
pennies, not pennies in the couch. Like we're
billions,
talking
no,
billions.
billions of
Yeah.
dollars. The very complicated relationship that is the NBA and NBA China and the involvement of the Chinese government. And that's where the NBA probably underthought, hey, they've got 1 billion people in China. Let's help start a fucking league in China. We'll make so much money. And it sounds great. I wonder if it ever occurred to the NBA that, if we do start a league in China, the Chinese government's going to start fucking with us. Because that's exactly what's gone on. So this thing today, basically, I hate to use the word outed because there's nothing wrong with doing business. I'm a capitalist. So there's several owners in the NBA that have tons of money in businesses, interests in China. The owner of the Brooklyn Nets, a guy called, I think it's Joe Tsai.
Mm-hmm.
He's the CEO and co-founder of a massive company called Alibaba. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. I think it's some sort of, I don't know, it's
Amazon.
computer.
It's Chinese Amazon.
Chinese Amazon. Okay, cool. 53% of Alibaba's business is done in the country of China. Okay. So and Joe Tsai he's the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, one of the woke franchises.
He's the governor of the Brooklyn Nets. The NBA doesn't have owners; they have governors.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the NBA comes off as this super liberal, majorly woke thing, right? And Joe Tsai has spoken out on human rights problems. The Nets are one of the teams that have been all in on Black Lives Matter and we believe in freedom of speech and participating in parades and rallies and demonstrations. Yet he's got $20 billion worth of business in the Chinese government, which is known for egregious human rights issues.
Minor detail.
The owner of the 76ers, the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, the owner of the Sacramento Kings, Michael Jordan, the owner of the Hornets, had you know how much money Mike Jordan has tied up in China with Jordan Brand? A fuck ton, in the billions. This is why it complicates the situation for the governors of the NBA because they're kind of behind. They're kind of caught in the middle here because they've got money invested in China, so therefore they don't want the Chinese government fucking with their business. But yet, so they get annihilated if they criticize China and their human rights issues, and they're worried that the Chinese government may kick their businesses out of the country. But if they don't speak out on human rights issues here in America, then Americans get pissed off at them, and so they face bad PR in the country, but they face losing their business in China.
Right.
So it's a tough place to be in.
Which one of those influences should dictate your decision making?
See, I think for you it's a black and white answer, and I don't think it is at all. It's great.
See, I think if you're going to try to stand on the laurels of moral high ground, then I don't want to hear jack shit about anything any of your dealings in China. Like it's very simple to me. It's very, very simple. All you
they don't want to say jack shit about it.
All
they don't want you knowing. I guarantee you, the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, he's pissed today because no one really knew he had billions of dollars tied up in businesses in China. He didn't want to tell you jack shit about it. He got outed today by ESPN.
Right.
He tried to keep it on the down low.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, the fact none of these people actually care about progress within any society, within any country. All they care about is making money. All they care about.
I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a rich guy, but I don't know, man. I look at everything just so compartmental.
Sure.
Like the way I look at society, like the way I view a government, the way I view a population of people, the way I view a nation, the way I view a state, the way I view a city, the way I look at my neighbor. If I have a neighbor let's say my neighbor here across the way, we're good buddies. They're Chinese. my neighbors to the left. I'm not good buddies, but I say hello to them every day.
Yeah,
Their
you're
dog says hi to
acquaintances.
my
Yeah.
dog. We're cordial. We're good people. If I find out that her husband works for the Chinese government and he I don't know, he's a TI or he's an IT for the Chinese government and has nothing to do with what goes on with the Uyghurs out in far Western China, I'm not going to shit on my neighbor because of association. And I will also, there are people here in the hellscape. Hawaii is an interesting state because it's Amerasia where I live here. More than half of the population here are Asian, and a big chunk of those people are Chinese. Remember, I told you the twins took Mandarin there for about a year here after we moved here.
Yeah, ni hao, smart decision.
And the kid that taught them Mandarin was from Beijing. I'm not going to get up. I don't want to offend that kid. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about, well, you guys have some shitty ass human rights issues.
That's the whole
What good
thing.
does that do?
Calling out the facts of the human rights issues they have should not offend that kid unless he's a defender of said human rights issues. That's the whole point. You should, in the same sense, you should always feel obliged to call out evil, regardless. Period. End of sentence. If that's going to offend your neighbors, so be it. That's the evil. Like if you were connected to a and this is the irony of all of it, because we sit here earlier. It was very, as soon as I attack the capitalistic owners, the capitalism based owners of the NBA, it all of a sudden becomes, well, I don't want communism. Well, it's not black and white in that sense. Like there absolutely are way more red flags against every other form of society except capitalism. But capitalism still also has its very distinct and noticeable warts. I mean,
Sure.
The fact that minimum wage hasn't raised in 40 years, but yet, corporate profits continue to rise, and inflation is only there are a lot of issues that it's extremely patriotic, in my opinion, to point out the warts within our own society while
Sure.
also still pointing out the warts, the greater warts of other societies.
So
And
do you
that's-
think the NBA owners should there not be an NBA China? Should they all cease operations on their private businesses in that nation?
in the same way that I
No.
don't think it? Yes.
No.
In this, McDonald's just shut down in Russia, but they're still operating in China.
Russia's at
virtue.
war.
That's
a
virtue,
bit different.
but that's virtue signaling, is what I'm saying. They're shutting down in Russia because it gets them more points right now, where what China's been doing for the last 30 years is way worse than currently what Russia's doing in the last 30 days.
From the guy in a General Dynamics hat with an F-16 on.
You
it.
bet your ass. Yes.
Okay.
What's the point there? We're building those for.
That's
like,
a $10
again,
billion
this is-
airplane that
this
will
is
never
also-
fire an offensive weapon
This is
ever in
also
its
a
existence.
citizen of a country that just invaded Somalia again after Trump rightfully pulled us out of Africa. We now have hundreds of troops back on the ground in Somalia that are fighting.
Okay, well then,
anti-terrorist
so
campaigns.
should companies from overseas that do business here cease operations here because of Somalia?
No, I think it's a much more gray issue than black and white. And
That
I think
we agree
if
on
you're
100%.
going to try to tell me you're standing up for social issues while still taking millions and billions of dollars from a regime that literally was forcing citizens to work 9-hour days, 6 days a week.
Now, hang on now.
Was controlling the birth rates of citizens, is currently holding concentration camps against Muslim minorities. Like I do think every country has its warts, but some countries have warts a lot bigger than others, and that absolutely constitutes not doing business with them. And,
Okay,
and
that's
I mean,
fine.
this is Nixon gave us Watergate, but he also gave us EPA. The EPA and the introduction to the Eastern world in terms of manufacturing and commerce. Like I think
Thank
there's,
God he did. And great.
See, and I would argue that was actually this is where I side more with the populist early Trump opinions of why are we outsourcing all of our manufacturing when we have the entire Midwest that's shitting itself, falling apart, that we
That's a
could
great
be
question.
putting millions of Americans back to work
I agree.
overnight if we, because our corporations that are based in America, all they care about is the bottom line and the amount of revenue and profit they can get. That's why they outsource to China, while sit here and tell us how evil China is. They're still going to do business with them, but they want to keep us captured by this fear of the outside. Like, we need way more American manufacturing. We need to rely way less on outsourcing work. We need to, like, that's the part where there has to be some balance between globalization versus profit margin when it comes to the well-being of the American citizen, the blue-collar worker that is perfectly skilled to work in a factory, but it's just cheaper to send it to China instead of building it in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, this goes back to what I said about compartmentalization. Everything you just said is fine, and we could debate it or not. It's good points. Sure, why create jobs in China that are cheaper when we should put Americans to work? What does that have to do with the guy that owns the Philadelphia 76ers, who owns Qualcomm and provides cell phone service to random Chinese citizens? That is, those are not related.
Maybe, but if there are geopolitical rivals, if they're going to side with and protect Russia on the global geopolitical level, we shouldn't be doing business with them. We have plenty of our own, like that's where the amount of greed will always overweigh the loss of profits. Because
I also look at it from a sociological standpoint.
But how so?
Because so are you saying you want the NBA to end NBA China?
Yes. If you're going to kowtow to the Chinese elite and not allow your own American citizens to freely express their opinions on the wrongdoings of the Chinese government, that's as bad of censorship as what China does to their own citizens. You're allowing your Chinese investment to dictate the way you allow your employees to talk freely about world politics. That's wrong to me.
99% of this is going to be a generality, but I'll bet you I'm onto something. 90-something% of the random Chinese 21-year-old kid who bought Air Jordans at the mall in Beijing, who loves the Charlotte Hornets or the Spurs, why take away the NBA for that kid? Then you risk alienating a massive population of people who then will turn on you sociologically. That could lead to I'm a humanist. I'm a globalist. I'm an earthling more than anything.
Sure. And that's
I'm
where
a
we
person.
do differ.
I'm a people
way
person.
more of a nationalist than you are.
I try to, big time. I look at the individual over the flag, over the borders. Oh, I'm sorry that this river happened to be naturally there, and now we created borders on a river. Fuck that.
You should have won the war 200 years ago to say that's your river. It's not. We won it. That's the boundary.
And I'm against that concept. I don't agree with that concept at all.
I'm a massive supporter of it because there has to be. Because if not,
that war that was about capitalism and money and butchering people that are brown. Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But guess what? That's how the world is. Like, you're going to sit here and tell me you'll do business in China, but you have a problem with the fact that international borders are decided by the winners of war? That's what's happening.
You said that. I didn't say that.
That's what you just said.
No, I was being facetious. I'm saying we based borders of nations based on rivers and who had more missiles than F-16s. That's bullshit.
Bet your ass we do. Yes.
Right, and that's bullshit, which is why I look at the humanist standpoint. I'm not going to punish 45 million Chinese regular, just generic people like me who want to watch ball because we don't like. Okay, well
Because
then
we
why do you
shouldn't
watch
be-
the NBA here?
because-
It's the same league that's in bed sucking the dick of the Chinese
No
government.
question.
Why are you going to watch the Mavs game tomorrow night, you hypocrite?
You don't think I struggle with that daily? You don't think
No,
I,
because you watch all the games. You don't struggle with it
you-
at all.
Yes, I do. Because when I grew up, the NBA was not in bed with foreign dictators or genocidal leaders in countries that were half a world away from me. That's the problem I have, that I will continue to point out the issues that I have with said agreements. Like I'm visiting, when you say you don't want to, you don't want to turn your back on the 21-year-old Chinese NBA fan. Like I don't either at all. But I also don't want Chinese government to hold minorities in concentration camps.
I don't
So-
either.
Right.
But I also don't want Qualcomm. If Joe Tsai decides, fuck that, Qualcomm's leaving China, that's 30,000 employees, random people, regular dudes like you and me from China who are out of a job.
But guess what? The government will
And
dictate
then what do they
another-
do?
the
That
government will
American
tell them
company
what their
cost me my
next
job?
is.
Maybe the Chinese, maybe my government's onto something. Maybe America really is evil, and you start creating this vortex of bad vibes. It's the same. It's kind of like how it's how a place like Germany.
Every
coming up-
every country is evil because human beings are evil at our core,
Sure,
at
which
our
is why-
nature.
but I can't erase everybody that's evil if they're all evil. I have to learn to live with these people.
But living
That's why I
with
look
these
at the
people
individual over the
is
big the
not,
nation.
But if you're talking, I agree with you about. I mean, this is like we were talking about, like the difference between Ovechkin versus Nemesnikov. Like the Stars Russian player, or Guryanov, has never campaigned with Putin. Ovechkin has. Ovechkin needs to be held accountable, but Guryanov doesn't. That's separating the average Russian citizen from the ones that have gone out of their way above and beyond to promote the genocidal dictator that currently runs their country. Like, that's just the different, holding different people accountable while also excusing the everyday citizen that has nothing to do with the decisions that are being made higher up. I mean, there's the fact that Apple continues to be this woke bastion of, liberal freedom while having all of their phones built in factories where they literally had to install nets, suicide prevention nets, to keep the workers from killing themselves, instead of trying to make the day-to-day lives of their employees better. They just install nets, so if they jump off the top of the building, they'll be caught and we can put them right back on the assembly line. That's a problem to me. That's why, I am very anti, I have no time for anyone that's doing business with a genocidal dictatorship to try to save corporate money to make more profit.
You're doing business with the corporation that's doing business with the corporation by watching and supporting
within
the NBA.
the country they operate in.
You're
and
supporting
pay
the
less
NBA.
in taxes than I do.
You
All of
support
that is
the problem.
rotten.
You support the industry that supports the evil guys.
How?
You want them to pull out of it by watching the NBA.
How can
Every
you,
time you watch the NBA, you are supporting the NBA, who
I
is
don't
there,
disagree.
who therefore
I
supports the Chinese government, who
agree.
you want us all pulling out.
Right.
It's complicated for you. It's just like it's complicated for these owners of these businesses that have all this
It's
interest
not
over there and have had
complicated
interest for decades.
It's not complicated. The only complication for the owners is, do you want to make more money? Yes, I do. So I'm going to
That's
I'm
an
going to push aside my
all-encapsulated
morals and principles, and all I care about is money. So I
That's
will
what you
continue to
assume.
chase. If you have $10
You
billion,
think Mark Cuban doesn't just care about money? He's worth $2 billion. He's still a
all
fucking
Mark
human
Cuban
being.
cares about is money. 100%.
No.
Yes.
I think
yes.
that's where you and I have a huge disagreement. You think all rich people only think about money
Yes,
all the time,
because
and everything
that's how
they do
they
is
got
about
rich.
money.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
I see that until we disagree on that, we're not going to be able to make a headway.
And that's what,
have a huge
how much
problem.
is Cuba? If you didn't care about money, you wouldn't be a billionaire. I think it's unethical.
So
I
you
think it's
don't care about
unethical-
money?
It's unethical to be a billionaire in modern society. It's completely unethical to be a billionaire.
That's another topic. That's a whole nother topic.
But that's my whole point. If you're going to sit here and look at it, like Cuban has to drive past multiple homeless camps in downtown Dallas to get to the arena every day. It's unethical to be a billionaire when you see that day to day.
Then why support any billionaire's business? You wouldn't be able to
Because
function.
we have to. Exactly.
Correct.
That's the idiocracy of the society we live in now, where all we do is fight about abortion, fight about voting rights, fight about the shit that they want us to continue to attack ourselves about, while the upper 1% to 3% continue to make millions outside of any principal boundaries whatsoever,
Right.
and just hope we don't actually catch on. If the oligarchy and if the upper 3% of global elitists actually had to face accountability for the things that all of us agree are wrong, there wouldn't be billionaires at the rate there are. I mean, the spike of billionaires since the 1980s shows you the unethical side of global commerce. The fact that we still have increasingly growing poverty rates while the billionaire and the growth of wealth among the wealthy elite continues to grow at a much higher rate, that's unethical. And that shows me all they care about is money and not the actual well-being of society.
Where's President Biden right now? Where is he?
Well, he was in Buffalo earlier this week. I don't know where he's at now. I know a bunch of our Senate and House representatives of both parties are on their way to flying to Davos, Switzerland, to bow to their actual constituents. It's not you and I that vote for them. It's the global elitists that absolutely keep them in office.
I believe Biden's on his way to Riyadh pretty soon, is he not? I think I read a headline today that said he's about to meet that, or maybe they're going to meet in Davos.
It wouldn't. I bet
The Crown Prince of
it's
Saudi
Davos.
Arabia.
Yeah, MBS.
Yeah. I mean, I just cannot. I'm not going to call for the NBA, a sports league, to pull out of a country that has some shitty human rights records when every motherfucking billionaire, according to you, is evil anyway. I just try to function in this world and raise my kids. I'm going to watch ball.
See,
that's why you watch
and
ball. It entertains you.
That's such a defeatist narrative, though, because it's like
You
if I
defeat
can't-
yourself
if
watching
I
the
can't
league.
Do anything,
You're watching games.
If I can't cause the smallest effect, then I'm not going to do anything. And that's the thing that.
What are
drives
you
me
doing?
most.
You're watching the NBA.
And I'm working for a corporation, and I
Sure.
yeah, like I
Have you
like,
seen what our CEO made last year?
I'm trying to pay my rent. I can't get my air conditioner fixed because I'm dealing with the absolute flaws of capitalism and the stagnant wages since of the last 40 years.
Things Puma neighbors saw when he mooned her, the back of Puma's teeth, El Chapo crawling out, Will Zalatoris' something. Thank you for your donation. You cannot make an impact on this. So you and I can sit up here and bitch for free. Thank God we live in a country that allows us to do so. Although LG says I can't play
That's so
I can't
defeatist.
play
We can-
instrumentals on this show.
we
It's bullshit.
absolutely all can make a difference if we all put aside these social disagreements, the social disagreements we have. If we weren't so interested in fighting each other over the social issues and instead looked at where all the money within our society goes,
Correct.
I think both sides would
But
find
they
a
want
lot
us to
of
fight over the
agreement.
social issues. That's
my
why the
whole point.
politicians play the
That's
red
why-
meat cards till they get elected, because y'all care about that shit while
That's
they
why
keep all the money to themselves.
Both parties are flying people to Davos this week.
Sure. This my point is this country's fucked up too. It's not, but this country's pretty good, as we talked about Tuesday night.
It's better than any other country on the earth, no question.
I mean,
No
that's
question.
debatable. That's debatable. But
No,
I'll
it's
go ahead and
not.
take this.
It's not debatable
yeah,
at
it
all.
is.
No,
Sure, it is.
no, it's not.
Dude,
No,
dude,
no.
come on. Now you
No.
sound like me with your generalities.
So make a
I don't want to
case
go
for
down that
someone.
road. I'm saying that you and I both agree. I mean, you bitch about this country all the time.
You bet you're at.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
you're
most
calling it the best
patriotic
country in the world.
The most patriotic thing you can do is complain about your government. That's the definition of patriotism.
Okay, fine. That's fine. But I'm not gonna. But I'm not gonna not watch the NBA because they want to have ball and make money in China. Now we can talk about the owners of the NBA and their individual companies. For instance, Mickey Arison, the owner of the Heat, his company builds ships.
Yeah, talk about him.
Yeah. And guess what? A lot of the money, a lot of those ships that are being built in China ain't just cruise ships. Mickey Arison, the American owner of the Miami Heat, owns Carnival Corporation. They have hundreds of millions of dollars, I think 400 some odd million bucks wrapped up in the Chinese military. Mickey Arison, an American, helps China build military ships. So if, let's say, China decides to attack Taiwan tomorrow, which could happen at some point.
Hey, for the record,
they're going to use Mickey Arison's money to do it. That's evil.
Maverick removed the Taiwan patch from his jacket for this new Top Gun film, so it would be released in China. So China would be okay with it getting a mass studio. And you know what?
Because they want to make money.
Massive fucking problem with that.
And you and I are going to go see the movie next week anyway, aren't we?
I am. You bet your ass I am.
Okay,
yes.
You bet your ass. So that's my final point.
But I can still have a problem with that.
That's fine, but you can't call for the NBA to pull out all business of China. For the same reason you're going to go see Top Gun anyway next week, he ain't going to end Qualcomm.
I provide $10 of investment. They provide 10 billion. That's fucking different. That's a big fucking difference.
It is different, but the concept is the same.
Sure, but it doesn't
because
matter
his
if the
10 billion and your 10 bucks are about the
concept is the same, because that person and I are living very different lives, and their amount of investment makes them that much more of a hypocrite than I am. That's just
we're just never going to have a society where we cap people and how much money they have. Now, we need to make sure that more people get more allotted to them. For instance, like poor people should not always be poor.
No, it's not a matter of capping. It's a matter of distributing to people that actually need it.
I agree, for sure.
Versus people that are hoarding it and forming their own level of oligarchy while the rest of us are struggling to pay bills. And the only reason I'm struggling to pay bills for 4 decades.
The only reason I've even considered going down this tonight with you is just to prove the point that, first of all, you and I don't know everything. Although I think you might think you do. But we don't. I don't. I don't know everything. Everything's complicated. Everything's compartmentalized.
I don't know everything, but I know more than the average person.
Okay. Every topic is topical. Every situation is situational. Everything is gray. It depends on who you are. It depends on what's in your heart.
Gray. Like Nazis versus Jews is not gray. That's black and white.
Okay, but that's not going on now. We're talking about the NBA.
I mean, a guy shooting up a grocery store and claiming replacement theory and right-wing rhetoric, that's black and white. That's not gray.
That's another topic, though.
But
you're writing another essay.
That's my whole point. We can't allow ourselves to just be beaten down into submission and say, well, everything's gray. I don't know. Both sides are making good points. Like, no, some shit is black and white. Like the greed of the upper 1% is very black and white. It's not gray. That's unethical greed.
How many billionaires have you hung out with?
Hopefully 0. I don't ever want to.
Okay. My whole point is I do think pretty much everything is gray because it depends on how you look at everything, from the individual all the way up to the guy that runs the corporation, to the fucking United States government or the Chinese government. First of all, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend I know the intricacies of any of this shit. I just know that I'm a capitalist. You support the biggest capitalist country on earth.
Sure.
And the capitalists capitalists in this country have chosen to do business all over the world in the name of capitalism. And we don't know what's in Mickey Arison's heart. By the way, Mickey Arison, a huge staunch supporter of the gay, lesbian, transgender movement of South Florida.
We don't have to guess what's in Mickey Arison's heart. What's in Mickey Arison's heart is greed.
You're guessing.
His money is going, as you said, is going towards building battleships that will be put into use by the Chinese Navy. That's greed.
Maybe, yeah. He's the one that probably has the most to be criticized about.
If he had any principles, he would withdraw investment. He's not going to because he's greedy.
Right. Is Michael
It's
Jordan
black
greedy?
and
He's
white.
selling, Michael
Yes,
Jordan's selling
Michael
shoes. He don't
Jordan's
give two
greedy.
shits about the military.
100%. Yes.
Okay, but he's selling shoes. Point is,
Right.
what's it? Mickey Harrison and Michael Jordan are different human beings. You want to put all these rich people in the same box and make them all the same person with the same heart and thoughts, and I don't agree with that.
No, it's not putting them all in one box. It's literally looking at all of them and seeing a common trend that emerges within all of them. They don't care about principles. They care about money. That's a common trend. That's not obtuse of
I
me
care
to
about
say
money.
that. Sure, as do I. But neither one of us have to make the decisions regarding money where we put our principles to the side. They're choosing to disregard their morals and support a regime that is going to take that money for evil. That's black and white to me.
Well, there's also selling shoes, Michael Jordan is, that are going to go on the feet of kids and women and teenagers and dudes that have regular
They're also
lives in
being
China.
built by kids for 9-hour days, 6 days a week, hoping that with factories that have installed nets, so if they jump off the top of the building, they'll be caught and put back on the line. Like it's like that's the
There's
reason
a billion
we should,
people in China.
right? And that's the reason
everything
we
is
should
not
bring
like you say it
manufacturing
is.
back here. It's more like it's more like Foxconn than not. That's a proven historical fact that we have documented evidence to support. Like if we
Rebel,
moved
fuck off. If you don't like the programming, fucking turn it off.
If
Anyway,
we moved
sorry.
manufacturing back here, there would be protections that would protect the worker as there should be. Like it's black and white in that sense.
Sure. China can have a lot of fucked up problems and you can still do business there. That doesn't make you evil.
If you want to sell things to China, go for it. But if you're having your cheap shit made in China and then you turn it around and sell it to the Americans at a marked up price, I have a massive problem with that.
Well,
I
that's not,
always
see,
will.
again, that's not, Jordan's selling shoes to everybody. He's not doing what you just said.
He's 100% doing what I just said. They're
No, he's
made
not.
cheaply in China, and then they're shipped all
Jordan
across the
shoes are
world.
made cheaply in China? Where are Jordan shoes made?
I think a lot of the Nike factories are in China, if I'm not.
I doubt they're cheap. They're $300 on the average. It's the same shoe.
For the person that's making a profit off of them. They're not $300 worth of fabric and material that goes into making that, or even close to $300 worth of labor price.
Again, all this stuff you're bringing up, you take all these different avenues and you take all these different exit ramps. When the bottom line is, I don't see how any of that means the NBA needs to stop playing ball games in China or showing playoff games there.
It feels like
because you want to encapsulate it all.
Yes,
you want it
because
all
of
together.
It is part of the conversation.
And if you do all that together in every country, there's no reason to do business with any country because they all have their flaws and warts and fuck ups.
Oh, so maybe we need to focus more on doing business within our own boundaries and giving people working like actually decent, well-paying jobs within our own country before we outsource shit to other places to make a maximum profit on the backs of American citizens that are going to buy it.
Outsourced to China? They just created a league, and hell, a shit ton of Americans go play over there.
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, they didn't. Well, the NBA didn't create the Chinese Basketball Association,
right? But they fund it. They're in partnership with.
No, I mean I
think the NBA makes a shit ton of money over there on that league. Do they not? I think they did investigate. I think they did invest money.
Send me the article if you find that, because I'm pretty sure the CBA is extremely locked down, controlled by the government. I mean, that's.
I need to confirm that. What I
allow
can confirm is
foreigners per team.
The NBA makes a lot of money, about $5 billion a year, on games and products that they sell in China to just generic people like you and me.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with the NBA selling their product, their games, and their gear to Chinese citizens. To me, that's not the same as supporting their government and saying that you support slavery. It's not the same.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
So they should not pull out. They should continue to show in playoff games.
You're talking about allowing an American company like Fanatics to sell NBA merch to Chinese citizens. That's fine. But the fact that NBA owners have $10 billion combined that directly contribute to the societal profits of the Chinese regime is a massive issue. That's a huge issue.
But it's not enough. But the NBA should not stop showing games there.
I mean, sure, keep showing the games, but remove all of your financial investment in Chinese companies. Sure.
But that's the individual owner of the NBA. Adam Silver can't tell Mickey Arison where to do his personal business that's unrelated to the NBA.
I don't disagree, but that's where I say there doesn't need to be a mandate stopping Mickey Arison from doing that. There just needs to be a massive outcry against said actions. It needs to be forced. Like, I don't want the government to step in or a corporation to step in and say, don't do that. I want all of us to have such a fucking problem with it that we stop it on our own. That's what should happen.
Well, what can you do as an individual?
I mean, if you're a Miami Heat fan, stop going to games, stop buying season tickets, boycott. That's the biggest. Boycotts are the biggest weapon that consumers have against the corporation.
Eat tomorrow night, probably. Or when they playing tonight?
It's on right now, and I'm watching Astros Rangers for the record. Yeah.
Are you going to watch Golden State Dallas?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mark Cuban's team, who just passes by those poor homeless blokes every morning on the way to the arena.
Yeah. And it's unethical.
And I'm not hating on you for that. I'm just saying there's some flaws to your.
There's not flaws. It's not my responsibility.
What you don't agree with.
It's not my responsibility to make those actions because I'm not in the position to do it. I can have an issue with the way they conduct their business while also watching it for my own entertainment. That's not as hypocritical as you want to paint it out to be.
Fine, but you should not call for the NBA to cease ops and the owners to cease what they're doing in China.
I think
if you're going to watch games on principle.
I think I can watch a Western Conference final game and also say an owner of the NBA should not be contributing to the building of Chinese warships. That part we agree with. On Arison's the egregious example. But all of it ends up trickling up to the Chinese government. It doesn't matter. That's an egregious example, but it all goes to the same place. It's just a matter of how it's allocated. I mean, there's no private society in China. There's no private corporate society in China. It all trickles upward. That's where I don't view a whole lot of hypocrisy to say, yeah, I'm going to watch the NBA, but I also think 90% of their owners are contributing and feeding into a autocratic dictator or, an autocratic society.
Why do you support this league?
Because I like basketball.
Okay.
That's the root of it. Because I enjoy the sport of basketball that was created by
so does random kid in Beijing who just wants to watch the Mavericks
and
Warriors.
I agree. That's why I say if you want to show the game, if random kid being able to watch an NBA playoff game wasn't dictated by the childish tantrums thrown by a Winnie the Pooh looking motherfucker dictator, then I would fully support you in saying, yeah, but guess what? I'm sorry. You live in a fucking shitty country. You might not be able to watch NBA basketball. Do something about it. Why don't you fix your own country? And then we'll bring NBA basketball to it.
It's hard to imagine that 1 billion people even think they live in a shitty country. I would think that most of them don't.
No, most of the people I visited when we were there, and I like some of the visiting the mountainside villages, they have no clue what their central government is doing because they're so worried about surviving day in. And that's my whole point. Us here are fighting over shit with our neighbor because he's MAGA and I'm, Sleepy Joe, and instead all the people at the top are just cashing in on us infighting with each other. That same shit's happening in China. It's just, it's ignorance is bliss. I have no idea what they're doing. I'm just trying to farm the rice terrace that 6-8 generations of my family has been controlling.
Right. And it's just how you're still going to watch playoff games. Adam Silver cannot call the owner of the Nets and demand he pull his business out of China.
Why?
Can't do that.
Why?
It's not free. It's not capitalism. It's not
China's
freedom.
not capitalism. They're doing
That's
business
censorship.
with
I know they aren't, but we are.
But you're doing business with
but that has nothing to do with Adam Silver's company, the NBA.
No, it all has to do with the individual greed of the governor of the Nets,
but
the
again,
governor of the Rockets, the governor of the Heat.
Governor. God, I hate that. That's so sissy. Governor. Makes me nuts.
Ridiculous. We can
it's
agree
ridiculous. There. God, that makes me sick. I don't think Adam Silver, as a capitalist, as a member of a free society, has the right to tell the owner of the Sacramento Kings, you can't open up a snow cone stand in Hong Kong or
what
Beijing.
If it's North Korea? You good if they have business ventures in North Korea? What if it's Russia right now? What if it's Russia right now and they have all of their money to support the Brooklyn Nets is tied into Russian oil?
Well, we ain't talking about Russia. That's a whole different topic.
It's not.
You can't
That's my whole
encapsulate
point.
everything is the same. It's all different.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point. It's virtue signaling to only single out one country when you're still doing business with tons of others that have their own equally sized warts. Like if this instead of having $10 billion tied up into China right now, if the NBA had $10 billion tied up into Russia, you think those people would still be holding on to their investments? No.
I don't know. Probably not.
Let me tell you, they wouldn't, because McDonald's just shut down 800 stores in Russia to try to score political points with the Western society. They just shut down
that's probably a smart
operations.
move.
It is, and that's my whole point. It's also a smart move.
Russia's at war. China's not at war.
Tell the Uyghurs that. It's also a smart move to de-invest in China if it's a smart move to de-invest in Russia right now. That's my whole point. The hypocrisy of it's okay to de-invest in Russia but not China. Why? Because Russia is invading a neighbor right now? China's done plenty to support de-investment over the last 30 years, 20 years.
That's all I got on it. I mean, so here's what's going to change. Nothing.
Nothing.
Not one fucking thing.
And that's the nihilist in me. I agree with you. Nothing will change. But I'm
telling you to make peace with it.
No, never. No, never.
I love it. I love that. Like if I had an opportunity to invest and make money.
Oh, and Rebel, also everyone in my family has defended the country. And I'm also an American citizen, so I'm free to have opinions without serving. Sorry. Go ahead.
I wouldn't. There's so many now coming in. I lost track of who's writing what. Where the fuck's LG? How are we supposed to do Taylor's sack right now? Did he get lost? Oh, he's there. Bam, motherfucker. Did he fall asleep?
No, I think he was just trying. He was like the parent that was just letting the two siblings battle it out.
LG's a globalist like me too. I'll bet he agrees a lot with me. He may not want to do business in China, but he's like me. Let me be the nationalist, populist redneck that I guess I am. That's cool. That's fine. I look at it from a humanitarian standpoint, like fuck governments and who does business there. I'm about the peaceful populations because I've read about, you mentioned World War II earlier in Germany, the Nazis. I mean, those were regular ass kids that got brainwashed into doing something that wound up being the most egregious, awful thing in the history of modern society.
Yeah, one of them went on to be the Pope. I mean, he was a Nazi youth.
Absolutely.
The last Pope they had.
Right. My first wife's step-grandfather. That makes sense?
Checks out.
My first wife's step-grandfather, he was married to her grandma, was in the Nazi youth. turned Christian in 1949 and moved to the United States on the dime of a church in Fort Worth. And all of his sons that he had in the United States, when he got over here and got married to an American girl, all wound up serving in the United States military. That's a guy who actually fought against the Americans in World War II. By the time he is 17, Germany was damn near out of bullets and desperate. And so they got a bunch of kids in Hitler Youth to go fight, which this is toward the end of the war. So I used to be related to a guy who actually who actually fired guns at American soldiers in World War II. So did I hate him? Was I nice to him? Did I ever go to his house and have dinner? Yes, I did. Because I look at everything as a humanitarian. I just look at the human element of it. I'm not going to hate all of China, especially with a country with 1 billion fucking people in it.
That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you're like, well, I'm sorry you live in a shitty. I'm sorry you happen to be born in a shitty company. Fuck off.
Have you ever been to China? Like, I think, like,
I know, but you want to shit all over them, and I'm sorry you live in a shitty country. I mean, that's not right. That's not fair.
It does just because it doesn't mean our corporations need to do business with them. That's all I'm saying. Like,
that's fine, and that you might be right.
There needs to be some corporate responsibility instead of just being
but because
beholden to shareholders
I'm a free society guy. I that's fine. Maybe those corporations should stop doing business in China. But the NBA is not obligated to ask their owners to stop it. They're not. That's not freedom. Hang on, let me get my lighter.
If they're going to allow teams to literally miss playoff games to make social justice marches and stances, then yes, they are obligated to hold their other investors equally responsible. Yes.
Well, that's another. We could debate whether or not they should have allowed the Bucks to do that. Hang on, let me get my lighter. Hang on. Oh, my damn lighter. There it is.
What's wrong with your lighter? Oh, is he lighting here? Well,
I don't have a cigarette lighter. Let's see.
What do you just have a?
I got that.
What kind of lighter do you have? Oh, that's what I need. We need one of those. I'm gonna bring
the one that doesn't burn your fingers.
Yeah,
I'm surprised LG doesn't have one of these.
I just torched my thumb again.
I love Puma's passion, and he's right. I am a bit of a give. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm gonna get what I can get in this world, but I'm not gonna hate on a bunch of people for getting what they're gonna get. I have a gangster rapper's mentality. Now, okay, let me ask you this:
that you attack for their lack of principled credibility. So that checks out. Yeah, you are a gangster rapper.
No, when it comes to I don't support misogyny. Or homophobia, which is prevalent in rap music.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying I have similar principles when it comes to making money and taking care of your family. There you go. I'm lit. When it comes to making money and taking care of here's the thing. It's funny. Like, I might disagree. I might despise. I'll pick a rapper. Da Baby.
Sure.
Or is it Sure. I might despise Da Baby's words and verbiage in his art and his homophobia, but I would never want him to not be able to support his family monetarily. Does that make sense?
Even if it was on the back of hate speech? Because that's what you're supporting if you're saying
that. Also depends on the hate speech, but because he got kicked out of about 10 fucking festivals in a row.
How does that depend on hate speech now?
Everything's great with me, homie.
Is this a 2 on the scale of hate speech, or is this a 9? Because a 9 I can't support, but a 2,
yeah.
Let's let him feed his kids. No, fuck that. No.
That's your opinion, though, but society can't roll that way. We have to allow everybody
should roll that way and absolutely extinguish hate. Yes. There should be no support for hateful rhetoric or emotions or positions held in government. So
I wouldn't go see Da Baby playing a concert.
Right. So
don't you dig that dude?
No, not at all.
I get who you like mixed up.
It's very easy because they're all Lil Da Baby, all interchangeable. Yeah. No, but you support the right of Ku Klux Klan to march in city squares.
I do. Yeah.
That's wrong.
Now,
That
if
is
you run
fundamentally
over and kill somebody, I don't support that.
Sure. But freedom of speech should absolutely not translate to freedom to spread hate. I don't agree with that at all. And I think we are very
I spread hate every day I spread hate every day on my
rest of the
radio
modern
show
world.
for
No, you
many
don't.
things.
No, you
UT
don't.
football. UT football.
Don't even compare literally inflammatory racist rhetoric with your hatred of UT football. That's not equivalent whatsoever. We got to get to the sack because it's already fucking 10 o'clock.
All right, golly, it is 10 o'clock. Show me some shit, LG. What we got here? Let me refresh this page.
We got a couple super chats I can throw on the screen here.
All right, throw them up there, homie.
We support. Something called G-Town 488 is in here asking
if you super chat us, you automatically get your stuff read.
Yeah.
Since y'all are from Texas, have any of y'all sipped on lean? God, no.
Since we're
LG
from Texas,
has not.
I have not. I have never.
Puma has.
I taught my grandpa how to make lean after he had back surgery. I taught him how to mix a little bottle of 7-Up, some Jolly Ranchers, and some of that Pro-Meth. Yeah, no question.
Since y'all are from Texas, where are you from? G-Town 488. All right. Hector's in here. He says, "I agree with you, Puma."
That scares me.
Most will. No. I think with the debate we just had, most will.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's where
because Americans have been told that China's all encompassed evil, and we should just not support anything they do.
Told.
And I don't believe
that. Told. We've done the research to know why they're evil.
Bullshit.
In the same way. I just said
no damn research.
I don't know.
Not you.
We don't know
you.
What?
Not you.
I led this whole segment with "we just invaded Somalia this week," which I completely disagree with.
You, not you. I'm saying
we're evil
most
too.
Americans.
Every country on earth is evil. Every single one of them, because humans are evil. And when humans are leading a country, there's going to be evil decisions made.
I don't agree. All humans are evil.
You think we're born good? You think we're conditioned by our environment to be evil? No. Humans are animals, primal at nature, that will only care about themselves, in turn bringing evil amongst the society standards. That's
awful. I'm never going to agree with that. That's a terrible
Calvinist
thing.
That's the Calvinist in me. That's the strong right-wing Christian upbringing that I have, that I still 100% agree with to this day.
I don't agree with that at all. I think we're taught evil. Absolutely taught evil.
Well, another reason why you and my roommate would get along well if you lived together, because
she and I need to go to Bed Bath and Beyond.
That and that point and my view on animal cruelty laws are the two things y'all would probably absolutely agree with.
Animal cruelty laws?
Yeah, animals are property. Mike Vick shouldn't have served prison time. It's a dog. Sorry.
Oh, no, Mike Vick, that was awful.
No, it's a dog with no emotions. It's an animal. It's property.
Maybe I won't let Coquette come over. LG, can you watch my dog?
I found a way to get out of.
I think you should definitely bring her over here now.
I fear her there with that nihilist every day.
A little bit more about that Puma over here.
With that super American nationalist nihilist over there.
A nationalist libertarian to the core, and I fundamentally believe it.
Van Gundy's ass tattoos in here, so new follower just bought us a coffee.
Love it.
Thank you, man.
Marty Liao, artist Marty's in here, bought 2 coffees.
Okay, word. Thank you, Marty Liao. What's up, homie?
Craft Beer Bob says he's enjoying this, siding with Puma. Another one.
Yeah, I think most will. Americans are conditioned right now to hate China and everything having to do with China. They are.
That's a massive simplification of everything I just said for the last hour. But yeah, let's run with that. No, it's not. It's because
you made great
points.
We're
just propagandized to believe that China's evil. No, that's not at all.
In a big way, in a big way, sure.
I actually just laid out multiple reasons why there are reasons to hold other countries accountable as well as our own. But yeah, no. I mean, the overarching people that need to be held accountable are the upper 1% of all wealthy individuals across the entire globe. But yeah,
Okay.
oversimplify
So you hate them all,
it
but you want them to
just
save
mean-
the world. Okay. You
No,
hate
I
all the
want them to
billionaires, but you
be-
demand they save the
I
world.
want
right?
them to be more ethical with their unethical amounts of wealth. Yes, correct.
Oh, how about Cameron's point in the sack tonight? The first sign of a society or civilization was the evidence of human femur that had mended because someone took the time to care for them. Not all humans are evil. They're not. We're innately good.
And men have one less rib bone than women because that's how God created Eve. Sure, that holds up.
If you drive past a car wreck and you see a lady stuck in a car that's about to blow up, I don't want you to get out and go get her because that would violate your nihilist
I'm an Eagle
principles.
Scout, and becoming an Eagle Scout allowed me to tamp down a lot of my evil immediate tendencies and reactions and taught me morals. I had to be taught morals and principles. I was not born with the set of morals that I hold myself to now as a 36-year-old.
You can be taught morals for sure, but you're not born with evil and hate.
Yeah,
It's
you
both.
are because self-preservation will always equal evil. Because if you're not taught anything and it comes down to either I survive or you survive, who's going to survive? Me. If that
No
means
one
your
faces
death.
that though.
That's my whole point. We did when we were primal. We don't now because we're lazy through the society we live in. At our primal core, we are absolutely evil because we will only care about our own self-preservation.
Yet that somehow those people that were born evil and it was me versus you in the primal times of ancient humanity somehow has now it manifested into what it has. So somehow, some way, it got good enough to survive and run the planet and run all the animals.
Or it just got consolidated to the top really quickly in modern times, and they've done a really good job
back to
of
the
protecting
billionaires.
their Yes, 100%. Yes. I will always fall back to attacking the billionaires. Yes.
I love it.
It's unethical.
Jesus,
Wealth is unethical.
Puma's a walking contradiction. Old man yelling at clouds. Don't argue with everybody. Now most agree with the Puma.
I am a walking contradiction. I understand that because of
I think
the
you like
parameters of the life
so you'll argue. I think you'll argue just about anything, and you'll also non sequitur to try to confuse your opponent in a debate.
What if
That's
I
why
non sequitur? I think it's less. It's
I think
more
you don't.
of
I don't think you stay on task. Did you get good grades in college writing essays?
100%. That's the only thing I got good grades doing.
All right. Because I think sometimes you get off on tangents in the middle of an argument, and then you come back to the original argument, but the example you made gets off course a bit because it has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
No, see, and that's the inability of others to follow the tangent. The tangent is evidence of the supporting argument I'm making.
Yeah, I just don't know that all that is legitimate evidence to the bottom line that the NBA doesn't need to be telling its owners where to do business.
And I would argue I did a really good job of supporting my initial hypothetical statement.
If you believe that you're correct, you did a great job supporting an argument that I don't agree with.
Okay.
In principle. Yeah, that's
Sure.
it.
Okay.
So if you're Adam Silver, what do? You order them to pull out of there or make them sell the teams?
Because that's my whole point. If I'm Adam Silver, I am beholden to at the end of the day, creating the max amount of profits as possible. And that in and of itself is an unethical way to do business because you're disregarding the principled stances of other people you're doing business with because you care about money over anything else. If I'm Adam Silver, my responsibility is to care about money over everything else. That's a problem.
I think you could. I don't want to. We've been on the air 2 hours. I think you could make the case that keeping it about the money and keeping business agreement and keeping the business we have with China, which God, are there two countries on earth that do more business besides other than us and China?
Literally,
No, God, no.
Not at all.
I believe you could make the case if you seesaw business, you're going to get closer to war with these people, which I don't want to get into. I don't want to, I hate to appease what they're doing with the Uyghurs.
Right, and that's
But if
what I was
we
about to say.
got a billion people, they're
Sometimes
going to turn
wars
on
are
us as a
just
society, and they're going to support their fucked up regime, and it could lead to a world war, and that I don't want. So if I can do some business with people to keep them dependent upon my products, and I'm dependent upon their products, ultimately we won't go to war, hopefully. I'm avoiding war by doing business with them.
And
It's like
the
drug dealer
only
versus
thing,
it's like a drug dealer on the north side of Chicago doing business with drug dealers on the south side of Chicago in order to keep the peace in the middle of the city. That makes sense. If we're both evil, if the United States government's evil and the Chinese government's evil, they're evil. We're innately evil. You've argued that tonight. We are evil by nature. Then
but
how
there's
about
no,
some
it's
greenbacks, some money and some business keep us from killing each other? Then fuck the Uyghurs if it prevents a world war.
no, because
That's
it's
the
not,
mentality of the billionaire and the
it's
government.
not if you do one evil thing, you are equally as evil as the country that literally starves its citizens and holds concentration camps. There are gray areas of evil between every country on the face of Earth.
It would be great if China stopped
Some have
what they're
a
doing with
far
the Uyghurs.
better civil rights record than we do. That's
Sure.
a inarguable fact.
Who you've called the greatest country in the world.
South Africa has the greatest civil constitution written in the modern times because it was written post-apartheid. It was written right
Correct.
after
Right.
they actually distinguished systematic racism within their government, and their constitution shows that. Our constitution
Okay,
was written
back
when
to my
people
point.
were still considered 3/5 of a vote, long before people were considered 3/5 of a vote. I'm just saying,
I don't
there
want
are
to
different
break
levels
off
of
relations with
evil.
China. China's huge. China's massive. They have 1 billion people. Most of their many of their citizens that live in cities and do read books and don't live in countrysides and need missions to come over from Glen Rose actually dig the Western society, or they wouldn't like they damn sure dig the NBA. And if basketball and some business agreements keep us from fucking bombing each other, I'm for that.
So how do you justify those business agreements also contributing to China's ability to bomb other countries?
I don't. And that's unfortunate. I'm not sure what the answers are.
That's my
You and
whole
I,
point.
neither one of us have the answer. I mean, in the
No,
NBA, ceasing ops is not the
Stop.
answer.
Just stop. What would that?
They
cut
should
off?
stop. They need to
Stop doing
stop.
business. Stop doing business. With
Oh,
them. all that would impact is the bottom line size of the pocketbooks of the owners and the league office.
yeah.
It doesn't
Countries get
do
desperate
any-
when you take away their resources and they want to go to war with you.
Well, the NBA is not going to be something that causes China to go to war with us. It could be taken away overnight, and China would still be doing day-to-day business just like they ever have. That's what
right.
they've done.
I can make the same
What have they
point
done
as to
in the
why
last 2
okay,
years without
fine,
the NBA?
And I can make the same point, which is why, well, the NBA should just stay there because the NBA doesn't impact future war or relations anyway. So fuck it. Just keep making money there.
You just reported on the fact that the money is directly going towards building Chinese
That's
battleships.
one guy. Arison is that guy.
That's
All the other
one
owners
guy
know.
under the umbrella of the NBA. That's still
Maybe
so
now
stop
maybe
doing business.
maybe Mickey Arison should be a guy that needs to be called into the office of the
maybe
NBA. That way, probably, I agree. I didn't know that about him until today. By the way,
It
had
all
no idea.
trickles up. That was a cherry picked fact to throw into that article. It all trickles up to the Chinese government. If you're supporting a Chinese based corporation, it's all going back to the Chinese government and their decisions on a day-to-day basis. Mickey
Maybe.
Arison might be directly responsible for building battleships, but
Yeah.
the rest of the NBA owners doing business in China are supporting the other aspects of the business that the Chinese government's doing.
Yeah. And how many corporations got Biden elected? And Trump before that? And Obama before
Way
that?
too many.
All of them.
Way too many.
All of them.
And we
All
need
of
to repeal Citizens United so we can
No,
take
that's
corporate money
another.
out. No, that's my whole point. That's all I'm saying. Corporations need to have less involvement on the actual effects of day-to-day citizens within said corporate or
I
said
agree.
country.
That I agree with. I just don't know how we're going to get there at this point. Sucks.
By doing things like radically changing our investments. Like it's
Well,
by having a higher minimum wage, by having
I agree with that.
There are a lot of things we could do
Within
that
our
would
own
cut
nation.
into corporate.
Sure.
Yes, agreed.
There's just so many topics here. There's thousands and thousands of different things under the same umbrella that all need to be handled differently and not all the same.
No question.
So, yeah, it's just so crazy ass complicated. It's stupid complicated. So, Mavs got a shot. Or are we going to go for a gentleman? You're predicting a gentleman sweep like you did last week when they came back and won. I think Golden State thumped that ass pretty good last night.
Yeah, but I also think
that was a harbinger of things to come.
No, I think Dallas has lost every game one of the playoff series so far. I think we're still seeing. I think Warriors in 7, but we're still seeing at minimum a 6-game series. And the Rangers are losing to the Astros. Yay!
I'm gonna go say hi to my neighbors tonight. The ones from where are they from? Guangzhou. Starts with a G. Guangzhou. That's it. My pronunciation's off. I'm going to say hi to them. I'm going to go down to the Chinese buffet tonight and have an amazing Chinese buffet they got here, owned by Chinese people, while criticizing their government in my heart and head for what's going on with the Uyghurs, right? And how they've persecuted Hong Kong, but not hating the Chinese person and not wanting to take his rights to work away.
None of that money you will be giving to them will go back to the Chinese government, which is all I've said. All I've said all night.
I can only hope.
Happen.
I can only hope that the Chinese restaurant I'm going to go to is not supporting the election process of some dude back there that supports.
Well, now you're being stereotypical against. Not every Chinese person supports.
I'm saying I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to punish them by not eating in their restaurant just in case. I'm going to eat it anyway. That's the point.
You should.
Here's something you can support. The Tulsa State Fair Skyward just bought us 3 coffees.
Thank you, Tulsa State Fair Skyward. I got to get the R&R Auto Glass spot in, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. And LG Slenderbone's back in here with 4 coffees.
Hell yeah. Thank you, guys. We should do 2 hours every night.
Yeah.
We do 2 hours every night.
We'll make is alive at Casa Taylor, apparently.
Oh, kick ass. We'll make chingles of money if we do 2 hours every night.
Yeah,
all right. Oh, how's that? All that. Oh, the Astros are kicking the Rangers' ass.
Yeah, I think it's gone ugly.
Yeah.
And that's it for the sack, which is brought to you.
I'm gonna be a capitalist right now, and tell you that R&R Auto Glass brought us Taylor's Sack, a hardworking mom and pop company. It's one of the most successful independently owned auto glass repair companies in the history of San Antonio, which has been in business since 2006. Which is really fast, which is very efficient, which takes all insurances, which will give you a discount if you mention me. Get a Taylor Especial when you mention me at R&R Auto Glass right there near the airport at 281 and Tacoma. So if you're going northbound on 281, you exit Tacoma, you take a left. It's just on the other side of 281 from the airport. And don't forget to mention me, Los Miguel Telito. You'll get it a special. All right. Thank you to Janet and the boys over at R&R. All right, Puma. Tomorrow, one more radio show. Are you watching? But goddamn millennials can't go 1 hour.
No, look, you have found the way to hold my attention. Let's talk. You want to argue politics and geopolitical economics?
Then fine. We should start another show. It'll blow up. Trust me.
Then I will next Tuesday. I'll just watch Ranger games on my phone and just chime with yeah, bro. Yeah, totally right. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Yeah, bro. Oh man. You know, one day, not Tuesday. I've got tired head, but Tuesday we'll keep it all. I don't. Who cares? We could be. I don't. At some point, I'd like to. We should get into why we should talk about the difference between a nationalist and a globalist, that kind of thing. Like why, how did we get to where we are and why? That'd be cool. That'd be a good 30 minutes. Yeah. It's funny. I'm consider myself a Texan. I have way more pride in being a Texan than an American.
Above all else.
So it's funny. Like I've got this, and I don't even live in Texas, and I'm very pissed off with the state of politics in the state of Texas right now. And it has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with the party that's in. It's just the individuals that run that party now that represent so many Texans, but I just love Texas very, very much. I just pissed off at Texas. What'd you say? That's the most Texan thing I can do is criticize the Texas government to paraphrase what you said.
I think I stole that. I think that's an old, I think that's what's his name? Come on, help me out. American author.
I don't know. Mark Twain.
No. Oh. Yes, that's 100%. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I think it is Mark Twain.
The great
Mark Twain. I think that's his quote. The most patriotic thing you can do is call out your government for wrongdoing.
Sure, I think it was Mark. We should get into. I don't want to come off as anti-American, and I'll piss off people. And 2/3 will agree with you that night too. I don't hate America. I just don't hate the world either. And I don't have this.
Neither do I.
Isolationist mentality. Let's get into it Tuesday. We're going to talk about it Tuesday or Thursday next week. All right. I'm not going to turn you into that guy. Although what are we both going to do next week? Go watch Top Gun, motherfucker.
You bet your ass. Yes.
You bet your ass.
With the Taiwanese flag removed from Maverick's jacket, so it will be played in every theater across China.
I'm not anti-Taiwan. I'm not pro-Chinese government. I'm pro-humans. That's my whole point.
It's really easy for us to get held up by our individual hypocrisies when we really should be looking at the people that actually drive policy and global decision making.
I agree with you very much.
Hold them accountable instead of holding our neighbors accountable.
I agree.
Shit that
100%.
Probably actually doesn't matter in the long run.
Right, but the Gen X of me just gets defeated when I see 7% turnout 2 weeks ago in the latest round of elections in San Antonio. I mean, that's not how we're going to do anything. It's ridiculous, stupid, and that's on y'all. That's on the citizens.
Or it's on the government for not making it easy to vote.
Okay.
Play the music. Get us out of here.
Play the goddamn music. We're done. We'll do this again Tuesday. We got a radio show tomorrow on iHeart. Then I'm on shore leave all next week from the radio show, but we will be doing Mike Taylor Live presented by Texas Cheer Liquor. Longest show we've ever done. Fucking China, man. What a pain in the ass they are.
Fucking China, man.
Fucking China, man. It's such a pain in the ass. All right, we're done. We'll see you boys on Tuesday. Love you hard. We'll see you on the radio. Go Gamblers.
Mail, motherfucker.
Wrong ending.
Oh, come back, you puppy.
Mike Taylor Live is presented by Texas Cheer Liquor.